Okay, I'm going to call this village board meeting for February 6th, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Okay, Nyla Fry. Here. Gary Herzberg. Phil Willems.
Here.
Chris Zellner.
Here.
Aaron Moran. Here. Joe Zitzelsberger.
Here.
Sam Kaufman.
Here.
Okay, one quick reminder for our board members to make sure you click your red to green for when you're speaking as we go. Carla, do you have any other instructions before we go?
We'll do the confirmation once you get to that point.
Okay, let's do that. Confirmation of open meeting compliance, public postings and online official notices, online availability.
I can confirm that the draft agenda was published in the Waunakee Tribune on 2/3. The final agenda was posted in all three official posting locations on 2/2 and 2/3. And the final agenda and packet were made available online on 2/1. Just two important reminders for the audience. Please be sure you've signed in for accurate record keeping. And anybody interested in participating in the public comment or public hearing portion of the meeting, please give me the forms prior to speaking.
Thank you. Okay, next we have public comment. Is there anybody here who would like to make a comment on anything that's on the agenda, off the agenda this evening? Any forms turned in?
No.
I see no hands up, so we can move on.
Chris, one note, when doing the hand check, it also is important to pause for the online participants. I do see we have one attendee, and I know that attendee is here related to an item that's already on the agenda, which they may be allowed to speak on.
Okay, thank you. I do have one comment. I failed to remember this. So I attended Ken Sipsma's gathering today over in Westport. And so I wanted to send our sincere condolences to his family, friends, sad event that took place, and just wanted to make sure it was acknowledged at our meeting as well. Okay, with that, we have our consent agenda. Would anybody would like to make a motion or have something pulled?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Nyla Fry, second by Sam Kaufman. Any other comments? Call the question. And remember to turn your lights on green. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, first item under presentations. We have discuss and take action on proclamation of service for Dave Cup. So first I'd look for a motion.
I will move approval of the proclamation.
Motion by Sam Kaufman,
Second.
second by Phil Willems. Any other comments? Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
There's all-purpose tools for you.
Nice.
Level. Look at that.
So we'll do that. So this is a proclamation honoring Chief Dave Cup. Whereas the village of Waunakee values its volunteer fire department and trusts them with providing service to its residents. And whereas Chief Dave Cup has been a longstanding volunteer of the Waunakee Fire District, serving on the Waunakee Fire Department from October 14, 1988 to January 16th, 2023. And during that time, serving as fire chief for 6 years. And whereas the residents of the Waunakee Fire District have long enjoyed the benefits of a great fire department. And whereas Chief Dave Cup, for over 34 years, worked alongside staff at all levels and departments to ensure the Waunakee Fire District is a safe place for every resident and visitor. And whereas Chief Dave Cup has been instrumental in helping the Waunakee Fire District protect and serve all people respect, fairness, and compassion. And whereas Chief Dave Cup has been dedicated to making the district a better community through contributions to the department by serving on several replacement truck committees, the latest one being the replacement of Engine 2, also involved with organizing and participation in several community events like the Pancake Breakfast, National Night Out, Wannaboom, Wannafest, Wannafest Run, and the Fill the Boot campaign to help raise money for the muscular dystrophy. And whereas Chief Dave Cup served as an instructor during Fire Prevention Week by visiting the elementary schools to teach them about fire safety. And whereas the village board and the residents of the village of Waunakee benefited greatly from Chief Dave Cupp's devotion, dedication, and hard work. Now therefore, be it resolved that the village board of the village of Waunakee extends its sincere and heartfelt appreciation to Chief Dave Cupp for his untiring devotion to the village of Waunakee, village staff, and Waunakee residents. Let this resolution be entered into and made part of the permanent records of the village of Waunakee, and let a suitable copy be presented to Dave Cupp, passed and adopted the 6th day of February 2023. Congratulations.
Like that, Waunakee was on besides me.
This is yours too.
You'll use this one more.
Been a hell of a 34 years. It was a lot of fun. I had great guys. I mean, just look at the guys that showed up here now tonight. My wife. Just thank you. I couldn't have done it without everybody.
Thanks again, Dave. And these are some of my favorite things to do as village president, and honoring the folks that do such a great job over the many years for the community. And our volunteers make up and are a part of our fabric of this community. So this is a big deal. So thank you again, Dave.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Okay, next we have under presentations.
Must've been something you
Okay, then let's move on to Pelletary Waste Systems. Year in review and things to come. Presentation by Municipal Account Executive Joe Spare. Yeah.
Great spot on the agenda.
That was really special to be a part of, though. It's a perfect night to be here, and what a great accomplishment. So that's really nice of you guys to do that for the chief. All right, well, I'm not gonna be able to steer the presentation from up here, but hopefully you guys have heard of Pelletary Waste Systems by now. We've been in your community just over a decade now. I think it was 2011 we started. Waunakee's always been, in my opinion, a model agency, especially with, being an earlier adopter of weekly recycling. So I just wanted to take an opportunity. Todd was nice enough to invite me, do a quick overview on, what's happened over the last 11 years, what's changed in recycling. How did you guys do last year, tonnage wise? So we're just going to go over some basics. If you want to flip to the next slide, some of this is a little bit boilerplate. There we go. So here's the agenda. I'll try to make it brief. I will skip the full-blown 7-minute video. Please keep in mind that we do host tours at Kip Street, which is our recycling facility. We'll take up to 2 busloads of groups. I'm usually the one who hosts them, so you're probably not getting stuck with me again. But we do have a full 7-minute video on our website that gives you an up-close look at Kip Street, our processes, what we do differently, how we offer the expanded list of recyclables above and beyond what the DNR requires to be recycled in the state of Wisconsin. So just keep that in mind, but there is a cool video that we actually end up showing at the end of a tour. So if you ever intend on coming to the tour, don't watch that video too many times. I've seen it a few times, but it is very fascinating. So we'll touch on Kip Street Station, where that is in relation to the village of Waunakee. Recent improvements we've done since we started servicing Waunakee, just within the past few years, what our expanded list of recyclable has, and any new items that have been listed, where do the recyclables go? A lot of people are like, well, it's great when, they leave our curb, but then what? Above and beyond going to Kip Street for processing. We'll touch on the challenges of wish cycling and contamination, which continue to be a challenge in Dane County. And then I'll leave you with some additional resources. I'd be happy to share these resources with Carla and Todd if you guys would like a copy, because there are some links in here that'll get you to our website. Our website, we take pride in. It's pretty robust, a lot of resources. I think we've done more than 20 recycling videos now, where David Pelletieri will do like a minute or less on what's the proper way to recycle this, that, or the other thing. So if you want to go to the next one. So it's our mission, our core values that we live and breathe by every day. I like showing this slide. Not that I want to expect you to read through all the business core values, but to show the family and how they've grown over the years. These are the Pelletieri, Tom Pelletieri there in the middle. Down below, he's still our current president. His three children, Danielle, David, and Tim, run the day-to-day operations. They are the boots on the ground. They are very much involved, and each has their very own specialty. And they all, just like myself, have a small herd of children who are already fighting over which division they're going to start in at Pelletieri. There is a trust in place to make sure Pelletieri does stay a family-owned and operated company for generations to come. And a lot of our municipalities take comfort in that. Next, please. So there's Kip Street Station. It's kind of an eye chart, but to give you some reference, if you head to the interstate, head south, get off the Beltline, get off first exit Stoughton Road, it's a rock's throw from there. So your recyclables, once they leave the village, they don't have to travel great lengths to be processed. Right now, Kip Street Station is operating Monday through Friday in 2 shifts from 4 o'clock a.m. till 12 o'clock a.m. So we have almost a 24-hour operation going on at Kip Street. Right now, I believe we are sorting around 225 tons of single stream recycling per day, which is a lot of volume. I think our sweet spot's about 250 before we have to start adding additional staff or hours. So we're comfortable right now. We'll take all the recycling you guys send us, and we'll continue to offer that to a number of municipalities. We started 3 new municipalities here in January this year. The anomaly there was that 2 of the 3 that we started historically offered bi-weekly recycling, and they were like, well, Pelletieri has this awesome expanded list of recyclables. Let's do this weekly. And we'll touch more on that later and where that demand comes from. So here's the recent improvements, and this is anywhere from the last 12 to 24 months that we've done some retrofit upgrades at Kip Street. One of those is adding technology to capture smaller OCC or cardboard items. So the Amazon effect became very, very real over the last few years. I think we could all admit. I know my Amazon driver gets a little concerned if there's a day he doesn't show up at our house. He just knocks and is everybody in there? Everybody all right? Because everybody's ordering things to be delivered curbside. So with that technology, things that historically would not get captured as cardboard and then get mixed in with paper, which doesn't necessarily contaminate the paper. It's just that then that gets sent off to a paper processor, which means it doesn't get turned into more cardboard. So we want to capture as much cardboard as we can, because if it's treated as paper, then it's turned into an end-of-life product like tissue paper or paper towels. Whereas if it's turned into cardboard, it gets made into more cardboard. So we definitely want to capture more cardboard, and because it is so prominent in the recycling stream these days. And then we also, oh, sorry, you're good. Just going to touch on the middle one, capturing more PET. So 1 and 2 plastics, we capture a lot of 1 and 2 plastics. It's probably the most popular, and we have a 98% capture rate with those. So we're trying to get all the way up there, but 98% is pretty good. 1 through 7s in general are plastics that we take. So with exception of number 5, which is a polypropylene, and just look for the recycling in a number 5. You don't have to know the name. Those get stripped out. So anything else besides number 5, 3 through 7, we have a partnership with a company out of Indiana called Brightmark, where those zero waste plastics get turned into wax, oil, or liquid gas. So those now have a good market, whereas historically those were tough to get, find a processor for. Now they all just go to the same place, and it's a zero waste type technology. And then additionally, something that we probably wish cycled, I was probably guilty of it myself before starting at Pelletieri's, hot and cold paper cups. So Starbucks cups, your Quick Trip cups, a paper cup that you eat your coffee in. People were probably like, well, it's paper, probably be recycled. Unfortunately not. It was a wish cycled item that unfortunately was not recognized historically in our sorting process, and now it is. We're one of the very few haulers I know in Wisconsin that offer this to accept hot and cold paper cups curbside. And the process is pretty simple. If it's got plastic lid, take it off, please throw it in the trash. If there's a straw, same thing, just throw it in the trash. But as long as that paper cup's empty, it can go in your single stream and we can then process it and it gets treated just like other paper streams. It gets turned into tissue paper or paper towel. So at least there's one additional step before it hits the landfill, which is great. So besides hot and cold paper cups, just something I like to bring to attention of folks that maybe aren't aware of the expanded list of recyclables that we offer that is not required by the Wisconsin DNR, paper milk juice cartons, metal pots and pans. These things can go in your single stream cart. If you have a front load dumpster that has single stream, it can go in your single stream dumpster. As long as it's come to pelletary, you can put it in there. Shredded paper, which is properly prepared. We like to use the size of a basketball for a lot of things. We must have some basketball fans of the family. So nothing larger than a small basketball, like a grocery shopping bag. And if it's clear, one thing to keep in mind, if you're going to send us recycling that's bagged, please make it in a clear plastic bag or else it then won't get ripped open. Not only do we take from municipal accounts, but we have commercial accounts in hospitals. So we can't see what our human workers are ripping into. They're under strict orders not to rip into it. They have to remove it from the line. It could be full of clean recyclables, but they're not going to find out because things from hospitals tend to be pokey. It's been an issue. So for worker safety, which is of utmost important to us, we just ask that it be in a clear, transparent plastic bag. Small metal appliances like toasters and blenders, again, nothing larger than a basketball. Small metal plumbing fixtures and faucets, valves, all those things will get picked up by a magnet in our sorting process. So those small metal things can go right in your single stream. And then tin and steel cans. Those are recognized a little bit different. I won't ruin the video, but there's technology to get aluminum cans sorted out in the process. So where do recyclables go? We have a great letter of reference from Strategic Materials here in Wisconsin. They say that we send them the cleanest 3-mix glass in the state of Wisconsin. That's something we're very proud of because glass is tough to recycle. It's a tough thing to accept. It's tough on your equipment. But once you get it nailed in and dialed in and you continue to invest in the technology, we're happy to accept it. We don't landfill glass. That's unfortunate that some companies that own and operate a landfill of their own, like these big national ones, they can seek DNR exemption to use glass as an alternate cover in the landfill, their landfills. Whereas we exclusively haul your stuff to Dane County, where glass and other recyclables are banned from. So you never have to worry about that. We do recycle your glass. I'm jumping ahead. Paper and OCC, we pretty much keep here in Wisconsin. You will notice, I won't read this verbatim, but if we have to ship anything out of Wisconsin, we don't send it very far. It's usually within a contiguous state, Indiana, Michigan, pretty much the furthest it'll have to go to get processed. Next. So wish cycling, it's become an industry term because it is a challenge. It's things that sometimes common sense isn't common. Like there's some things that are understandable, but things like baby diapers or used baby diapers should not go in your recycling. We've gotten those. Sometimes it just makes us scratch our head, and you can never be complacent. You're going to get a lot of things. Twine, rubber hoses, things like that are a nightmare on our equipment. Like I said, we only have 4 hours of downtime, so we try to minimize that to just routine maintenance. But when we get stuff that comes in and gunks up our lines, unfortunately, that creates some issues. We rely heavily on our relationships with our processors and our reputation in the industry to provide clean single stream. So if we continue to get a lot of contamination and somehow that doesn't get caught, they're going to start looking at us a little sideways and we won't be able to offer expanded lists. But it's not an issue. We've never had to implement the recycling sort for any of our municipalities. You guys are doing great. Personally, I can say that. And when in doubt, just check our website. Like I said, there's a lot of resources. If you're ever like, can this really go in the recycling cart? You're going to find your answer. And if you don't, we have a live local customer service staff, always at the ready, and they're very sharp and they will let you know for certain, or just email us info@pelletary or ask Todd or Carlin, they'll email me either way. So contamination, it's not to be glossed over, but it is almost like wish cycling. They go hand in hand. It's continuing to be an issue. I believe when we opened Kip Street just over 11 years ago, we were in the single digits for contamination. And now in Dane County, it's averaging into the mid to upper teens. So it's definitely not trending in the way we want it to. So this is why we welcome opportunities like this to come and speak with folks. I'm doing another presentation toward the end of the month here in Waunakee, because anytime I'm asked, I am happy to go and give people the tips and remind them of what's acceptable, what's not, and always point out the fact that you do have a local provider with a lot of resources if there's any question. Speaking of resources, like I said, I could provide this so that you guys have links. We have the 20+ recycling tip videos. We've got a blog that we keep up to date on the residential recycling site, where you would go if you were a Village Waunakee resident and you wanted to get your calendar or know of any extra programs that we're doing or shredding or any of that stuff that's on your personal landing page. When you get to that page, that's where the 7-minute video of Kip Street lives, and you can watch it at your leisure. Next. So the fun stuff, what's specific to Waunakee? How'd you guys do last year? You guys did great. Like I said, I am in constant communication with our operations department. That's the beauty of being one company under one roof. At least from an operations and sales and ownership standpoint, we're all in the same office on Southtown. If there's an issue, the drivers let operations know, operations let me know, and we can address it. Has not been an issue. You guys have always gotten glowing reviews. Last year, you were around 52 pounds per home per month in recycling and 123 in trash, which is, to put in perspective, that's good stats. Because if you notice below, when we run stats for communities that have every other week recycling, usually they have over 10 pounds more recycling, or sorry, weekly recycling communities have over 10 pounds recycling than every other week recycling communities and 11 pounds less trash. So I actually used that data because we were having an issue in a community where they were running out of capacity. So unfortunately, path of least resistance, they were putting the recycling in the trash because they had room in their trash can, but we only came for recycling every other week. So you showed them that when we show that data on somebody who adopts weekly recycling like Waunakee, and where your tonnages are compared to where their tonnages were, they said, well, yeah, that's very glaring. It's obviously worked in Waunakee, Middleton, McFarland. When you guys adopted, we were probably at about 30% participation in weekly recycling. And with the 3 communities we just started this year, over half the homes that we service for curbside have weekly recycling. We love to see that. I just wanted to point out, 10 pounds doesn't sound like enough. When recycling first started, it was a lot of thin stuff like papers. People were crushing their aluminum cans. It was very thin, light things that didn't fill up your recycling bin. 10 pounds adds up to a lot. That requires 31 aluminum cans to equal 1 pound, 12 water bottles to equal 1 pound, or 200 sheets of printer paper to equal one pound. We're talking about a 10-pound discrepancy there. So it's a lot of stuff. So with that, I hope in my quick rant, taught you something. I am happy to answer any questions. And if you happen to think of anything, or if anybody who watches online happens to ask after I leave here, as Chris and Todd and Carly, no, I'm a phone call away. I'm an email away. I hope that you find that I'm pretty respondent. Thank you.
Thank you, and absolutely very responsive and appreciated by the community. Board members, any questions? Joe?
Yeah, I got a couple, just sort of clarification type things. Number 5, plastics.
Mhm.
Just to the trash? or-
No. Those, I'm sorry. We accept 1 through 7s.
Okay,
1s and 2s pretty much stay together. Those are our most popular. Those go to a processor. 3s through 7s, where they would have historically all gone to that break mart. For some reason, 5s just became really popular. So we actually take those out during sorting. Those go to a different processor.
okay.
And yeah, so sorry for any confusion on that one.
If
1
I
through
took
7,
them all in,
send it to
was
us.
like, okay. 2 other questions. Do you have a preference for crushed cans versus uncrushed?
So
And is there a reason?
rule of thumb, And it's something I kind of repeat during my presentation at KIP because we have more tangible stuff there. Anything besides paper or cardboard that's in an original 3D form, please try to keep it in its original 3D form. I was guilty of it myself. I would crush aluminum cans, I would squish water bottles and put the cap back on because I wanted to fit as much as I could in my recycling bin. And those things take up a lot of space. But one of the simplest technologies we rely on is gravity. So we have belts that go up at a certain pitch, things that are in 3D form topple back down, paper and cardboard right back up, and those get sorted accordingly. So yes, we do ask that you please keep them in their original 3D form.
Cool. And last thing, kind of goes along with that. What can our end users do to make all of this work best for you guys?
Clean and empty. Those are things I always ask for. If it was a food container, we're not asking, I mean, I know people who have run things through their dishwasher. That's going a bit above and beyond. I get teased at my house because I look like a maniac whenever I recycle our plastic peanut butter. Because I mean, peanut butter is waxy, it sticks. Really nothing more than a little warm water, a shake, make sure all the contents is out of it. And that's really all we ask for. It's appreciated. It's not saying it won't get recycled. The thing that kind of throws things off if they're not empty is that we have puffs of air that shoot at things. If it's too heavy to get recognized as a certain item and that puff of air can't get it to where it needs to go, that's usually because there's a lot of food residue left in it.
Very cool. Thank you.
Packing peanuts and stuff. Gary, your button. Are packing peanuts and styrofoam trash or recyclable?
Funny you asked that. So I just got a shipment yesterday with packing peanuts. And the first thing I did was I said to my son, I said, Brody, come check this out. I emptied the packing peanuts into my sink and I ran water over them and they disappeared. So the reason I tell you that, packing peanuts are not usually styrofoam anymore. They've come up with this hybrid soluble material so that if they do make it to the landfill, they basically just disintegrate as soon as they get wet. Styrofoam, block styrofoam, big bulky stuff is a very tricky commodity to recycle. So it's not accepted in single stream, but you will find processors who will accept it. And there are certain municipalities who have styrofoam drop off. It's just that it needs to be completely dry, kept separate from any other recyclables, and then taken as a dedicated load to a processor.
Okay, I don't see any others, so thank you very much.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. I appreciate it.
Okay, next item we have is our public hearing, discuss and take action on annexation ordinance and agreement for proposed annexation of 324 acres of land lying on the north and south sides of State Highway 19 west of County Highway I, owned by Kaltenberg Farm Partnership LLP and Viola G. Kaltenberg Revocable Trust. Who's introducing? Thanks, Tim.
I would just like to point out that the attorney. And I would note, yeah, Diane's here on Zoom. If at any point, Diane, you care to make comments, if you can just push the raise hand button, I'll keep an eye on it and we'll bring you in.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is open up our public hearing. Anyone have any notes or
We
sheets
have no
passed in?
forms.
Anybody that would like to make a public hearing or a comment? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close our public hearing and open up to our board members for comments or questions. Joe, I'll start with you.
Caught me off guard. I don't really have any questions. I think given the location of this, it'll be a great addition to the village.
Gary?
Yeah, I think the planning commission unanimous support. It's in our plan. It makes a lot of sense. So most people support it.
Nyla?
Yeah, I have one question, maybe staff or family, I don't know who can help me with this. I'm just wondering why they want it to be annexed into the village in one big chunk rather than phases?
Just making sure my light is on. I can take an attempt to answer that and the Kaltenberg's attorney probably can do a better job. But I think the rationale is that by doing it this way, all of the lands are in the village and prepared for whatever may come next versus selling off a little parcel here and a little parcel there and having to go through the annexation process however many times. So it makes more sense to do this as sort of a one and done situation.
Thank you.
Sam?
No question. Seems like a logical extension of our boundaries.
Aaron?
No questions.
Bill?
100% in favor.
Okay, so I think that's everyone. My only comment is just Tim, nice job on answering Nyla's question. I would say it makes complete sense from a planning perspective that we look at an entire area versus one or two parcels as we go through that. So this is an easier way for not only us, but the developer and the Kaltenbergs to plan accordingly. So I'm also in full support. With that,
Okay, motion to approve the annexation ordinance conditioned upon execution of the annexation agreement by Kaltenberg Farm Partnership and the Viola G. Kaltenberg Revocable Trust of 2007 and the village. Also, a second motion to approve the we'll wait for that one. Okay,
so we have an emotion
Second.
and a second. Any other comments or questions? Brian, as our attorney, anything that you want to add to this before we finish this motion?
No, I agree with everything that Tim has said and the board has said, and just the annexation agreement is consistent with prior annexation agreements that we've had for other properties in the village.
Thank you. All right, with that, all in questions, say aye.
all right,
I
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
no. Motion to approve the annexation agreement between the village and Kaltenberg Farm Partnership and Viola G. Kaltenberg Revocable Trust of 2007, subject to final review and approval by the village engineer and village attorney.
Okay, we have a motion by Phil Williams,
Second.
second by Gary Hertzberg. Any other comments or questions? Todd?
I would just note, again, with Diane Kaltenberg-Ehlers on the line and Attorney Proctor here as well. Staff have enjoyed the opportunity to work with both and other members of the family. And so Diane knows staff continues to look forward to whatever next step they care to take, and we're ready and look forward to work with them.
Thanks, Todd, and we'll try to save the Kaltenbergs a little money by getting this done quickly with their attorney here present tonight. So I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you for being here. Okay, the next item we have is to discuss and take action on change of agent for Quick Trip Inc. doing business as Quick Trip 832.
I can take this one. This is simply new employment, new manager, new agent needs to be on site. So they've filled out the forms to do just that.
Okay, any questions or look for a motion?
I will move to approve Michael Miller as agent for Quick Trip Incorporated, DBA Quick Trip 832.
I'll second it.
Motion by Sam Kaufman, second by Nyla Fry. Any other comments? Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we have discuss and take action on original alcohol beverage license application for Brian Damon doing business as Rips Bar.
And this is just a change of ownership for the establishment. So we have Brian Damon here in the audience in case we have any questions. Otherwise, it's the same thing. He's filled out all the applications and is looking for an alcohol license.
Board members, any comments? Okay, I'm gonna make the motion to approve an original alcohol beverage license application for Brian Damon doing business as Rips Bar located at 117 East Main Street, subject to possession of a current seller's permit, payment of outstanding liquor bills, and payment of all outstanding bills or monies owed the village.
I'll second.
Second by Aaron Rand. Any other comments? Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we have discuss and take action on amendment to premise description for Kuko's Restaurant.
And I can take this one again. It's, the establishment is now moving from solely being a restaurant to also having a grocery store. So they have made modifications with building permits to create a wall for safe sales of alcohol in the grocery store. And the applicant is here as well, if there's questions.
Board members, any questions?
Make a motion to approval of the amended premises description for Kuko's Restaurant located at 246 North Century Ave.
Motion by Sam Kaufman,
Second.
second by Joe Zitzelberger. Any other comments or questions? Okay, call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you for coming back.
We had fellowship there Thursday. They were grateful.
Super. All right, and under business items, we have discuss and take action on administrator review, compensation and benefit adjustments. Brian, do I take the motions first or read it?
Is the entire discussion going to be in closed session? If it is, I would just go on to reading the closed session language and have a vote.
Okay, the village board may convene in closed session as authorized by Wisconsin statute 19.851C for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. The village board may reconvene in open session and discuss and take action on the subject matter discussed in closed session. So I need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll move, we go into closed session.
Motion by Aaron Moran,
Second.
second by Sam Kaufman. Roll call vote, please.
Nyla Fry,
Yes.
Gary Hersberg,
Yes.
Phil Willems,
Yes.
Chris Zellner,
Yes.
Aaron Moran,
Yes.
Joe Zisselsberger,
Yes.
and Sam Kaufman.
Yes.
I would note, Chris, for those who might be watching or in attendance tonight, we're going to be ending the recording and the production, the online version of the video. Should the board reconvene and take action, those actions will be appropriately reflected in the minutes.
Thank you. Okay, so we are going into closed session.